everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to have a very short video about what I read in the month of June, which is not much because I spent about two of the very first weeks of June back in the States, and that was not a reading vacation at all. I really didn't read anything. And then when I came back, the jet lag was actually pretty bad this time around, and it took me a while to get back into the reading mood. So I only have two books to talk about. But just to let you know that I have gotten back to reading, so July is faring and looking to be much better. But today I only have two books to talk to you about, and the first one isn't translated into is it translated into English? I don't think it is. But the very first book is Le Passage, or The Passage, by Jean Reverzy. And this is a book that I saw at a flea market in France, and my mom said, "That is a beautiful book. You need to read this. It's fantastic." She said it's the most beautiful book that really talks about man's relationship with death. And basically what this is about our main character has been diagnosed with, was it liver or a kidney? Let me try to remember. I don't remember. It's either liver or kidney disease. And he is told that he is going to die, and so he makes the decision to leave Tahiti, where he has been living for the majority of his adult life, and to go back to his hometown of Lyon in France, to not so much to become healed, or at least not physically to become healed, but just to get what's it like, just to find some sort of direction, to find some sort of purpose, or to find some sort of way to create the end of his life, basically. Because as the title implies, Le Passage, the passage, the journey, his whole life has been sort of a journey. He's always been on the move. He's always been sort of trying to get somewhere. And so I don't really know how to describe this book very well. So like he writes a letter to his a former friend of his back in his hometown, who is a doctor. He tells him, "I'm coming back from Tahiti. I would like to have you look at a health issue that I have." I mean, he already knows he's dying, but he's going to have it reaffirmed. He arrives in Lyon. His friend confirms his disease, and then together they sort of work on a treatment for him, which is more a spiritual and mental treatment than it is a physical treatment, because again, it's non-curable. And it's just him reflecting. It's him talking about his life in Tahiti, what he's been doing, what relationships he had there, what he was doing. It's about his journey through Tahiti, his passage through adulthood in Tahiti, and then again the passage in Lyon, and the end of his relationships as he enters the new journey towards death. And as my mom said, it was very beautiful, and it's very well written. However, I did not have as much of a connection to this book as she obviously had. I think this book is maybe one of those situations of right book, but not the right time for me. Maybe it's a little bit too close to the death of my grandmother, or maybe it wasn't close enough to the death of my grandmother. Although the character is 40 years old in this book and I'm 40 years old, it felt like our lives are so very different, which is weird because technically no, because I also had the same thing. He went to Tahiti for his journey. I came to Japan for my journey. But it was weird. Like, I could understand his emotions, but at the same time I couldn't understand his emotions. And maybe that's because in a way it's only the emotions you could experience if you're going through the experience yourself. Like, even though he perfectly explains them, there's still a lack of like the person who's explained something and the person who's going through the thing. Because the thing is that the author himself was basically going through the same situation. The author himself died very young from a similar sort of malady, and he also had this sort of, he was also a doctor, and so there was definitely a love language towards medicine in this book. But I have to say, this is a very beautiful book, and and I recommend it, but it wasn't the right book for me. So hard to describe this one, which is why I'm struggling so much on my words on this. But yeah, I a bit of a difficult book for me. Not in language, not in that, just this something I just couldn't connect to it. So the other book that I did connect, though, that I had a lot of fun with this in the month of June, was a Jules Verne book called Michel, Strogoff. And this has gone right up to the top of my ranking of favorite Jules Verne books. This book is fantastic. And when I had mentioned on my library thing thread that I had finished this book and it was on top of my ranking, so many other people said, yes, that's also one of my favorite Jules Verne books. So this seems to be a very popular one, although it's probably not known at all, unless because of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and Journey to the Center of the Earth, or 80 Million Miles in a Balloon, or whatever it is that title is. But yeah, lesser known title, but people seem to really love this one because this one is fantastic. So Michel Strogoff is about this Siberian, a man of Siberian origin who is tasked with a very important message from the Caesar of Russia to go, that is warning the brother who is in Siberia that danger is coming, that he has to be careful of this traitor. And so Michel Strogoff is a courier. He's been tasked with this mission, and he needs to go to travel in the depths of Siberia to give this message. And this whole book is his journey and all the dangers he goes through, all the people he meets. And the thing that's amazing about this book, and it is one of his longer books, it's 500 pages, but this was, nothing dragged. It was fantastic the entire time. And the thing that made this book as amazing as it is, and the reason why it shot up to the top of my list, is that it's one of the, especially as someone who's read about Jules Verne, it's one of the first Jules Verne books that I've read out of the, I think, 18 books now that I've read, where it's the first book where you feel the danger. You actually feel the danger, and the danger actually has consequences. Because the thing with Jules Verne books is that he writes a lot of adventure stories. Typically Jules Verne he's famous for the adventure stories part of his writing, and also the scientific part of his writings. So 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea is considered one of his best works because it combines those, where it's like really 50% science and 50% adventure. It's a really strong marriage of the two. But he has some books that are more science, like Around the Moon, which wasn't really very exciting, and then there's some books that are more adventure. And this was definitely pure adventure. There's no science to this except for one aspect at the very, very end that explains a certain scene that happened. But other than that, this is a pure adventure story. And the thing is that his books also are very, very lighthearted. You never feel like, even though in his adventure stories, obviously protagonists, they're in danger, there's something happening, the balloon is deflating, or they're under attack by the savages of this new foreign land, or they're being betrayed by the captain of a ship, right? Like there's always something. But his books always are quite lighthearted, and so you even though the characters are in danger, there's no sense of anything's gonna happen to them, right? You're like, oh yeah, they're in danger, but they'll be fine. They'll pull through. It's okay. This book, though, does have that sense of danger where you really think, wait a second, this character might not make it. This character might actually not make it. He might not complete his mission. And so you have the sense of danger, and the consequences actually have consequences. Like the consequences are real. They're like things actually happen. And so this book was a real journey. It is so much fun. He I mean, the miles he has to travel, because it takes about like 3 months to get to his travels, what he has to go through, the really terrifying characters he meets. There's a little bit of humor, of comedic relief. Jules Verne always has some comedic relief in his books. Here it is the comedic relief is provided by two characters who are two journalists, a French journalist and a British journalist, who somehow end up on the same path or the same trajectory, the same journey as our main character, Michel Strogoff. So they provide the comedic relief, but other than that, it's really a book just full of danger and suspense and mystery and just wondering, is he actually going to make it? Because he might actually not make it. Like, so yeah, so amazing. When I'm looking through the book, I'm looking at all the amazing illustrations that are present in Jules Verne book, that are just really, really fun to look at as you read. But yeah, this book was fantastic. Right up there on the top of my favorite Jules Verne books, Michel Strogoff. I had so much fun with this. It was fantastic. And that's all I read in terms of books. I also did read volumes 104 and 105 of Detective Conan. In the French translation, Detective Conan is a very famous detective mystery story here in Japan. I still read them in French because I started reading them in French before I knew Japanese, and I didn't want to make the switch in between. And my entire collection of the Detective Conan series is in the US, so I needed to read those 2 volumes before I brought them to the US to be with the rest of the series. So yeah, so I did read those while I was there, but that's it. That's all I read in the month of June. So there you go. Quick and dirty. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in July with my book wrap up for July, which is promising to be a very, very good one. So I hope you guys look forward to that one, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.